There are so many amazing games out there that are altered by localizers who just want to push politics into every project they touch. And now Where Winds Meet has body types 1 and 2 instead of male and female. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I had been really excited for this game, and I actually have been streaming it on the channel. I've been giving it a chance since it is a free-to-play title, and it is very fun. Sure, it's not the most polished experience ever, but it's still got a lot to offer. The combat is quick, the bosses are cool, there's tons of different activities to do, and really, it is a good game, but I know the first major hurdle that a lot of people are going to face when they're making their character is the fact that male and female was changed to body type 1 and 2. I saw this, I of course was extremely disappointed in it, but some of my favorite games have this, like Elden Ring, for example. It's a phenomenal experience. The type 1 and 2 or A and B situation doesn't affect me playing a game if I'm excited in it, but it is still something that needs to be called out because it's pretty dumb that it happened. And to top all that off, it was done by a vocalizer, somebody who constantly wants to push their own politics into a game, and they have no respect for the original material. And the Chinese version of the game does have male and female. The localized version does not anymore, and tons of people are calling it out, which I'm happy to see. Scratchpoint said the English localization of Where Winds Meet is the only version that changes male and female to type 1 and 2, displaying another example of localization unnecessarily changing something innocuous to align with the modern denial of reality in the West. I don't really know why these localizers are so hyper-focused on changing male and female when they're just going to be called out for it and people are going to wreck them for it. Like, eventually you have to admit it's not worth the public humiliation, I would at least think, but I guess because they're so obsessed with their own personal brand of political activism, they just don't really care if they face backlash for it, and they probably should, given companies don't want to work with controversial figures that much anymore. That's why so many activists are being fired from this industry. Now, this is not confirmed officially, take it with a grain of salt, but we apparently know who the localizer is, and they are a localizer who worked on Honkai Star Rail, and they are extremely woke. I had never heard of them before, but their name is Brielle Acherhoff. They actually are tied to Rocket Sound, and they do original and localized dialogue, but this company, Rocket Sound, of course, promotes pride events, and this individual, Brielle, posts on their social media about rainbow flags and people with blue hair, as you can see on this profile. I mean, it's pretty intense. So Rocket Sound is now another company to add to the list to always pay attention to. I had never heard of them before. They slipped through the cracks, but luckily gamers are willing to call these people out and research until we actually get confirmation of who is messing up our products. Pirate Nation had posted about how you don't hate Western localizers enough, and then it shows the male and female versus body type 1 and 2, and it's just so sad that good games face controversy because of a few shit libs. These people cannot accept the fact that this is not a popular stance, that this is not a way to gain notoriety in the industry, and really all they're doing is severely damaging their image and their reputation by doing this. We've heard so many instances of localizers constantly pushing the limits. They make changes because they believe that it's for the better, and then they say, well, we don't want to make people uncomfortable when a game comes to our region, so we're going to change it because this won't hurt people's feelings, but then a product is sanitized to hell and back, and it really makes you wonder what else is altered in the game. There is a bit of censorship in the chat because, again, this is made by a Chinese company. You can't say things like Tibet or Taiwan or Hong Kong or Winnie the Pooh. You can't say idiot. You can't say retard. You can't say most of the normal swears. And that does suck. I think that that is very important to point out. But the gameplay itself is so good. The world is so rich. The bosses and their mechanics are really cool. And it has a lot going for it. And because it's free to play, I think a lot of people are willing to look past some of the issues that it has. But it is still important to know the type of company you are ultimately supporting. If you swipe your credit card or you think you want to invest a lot of time into this, and I'm glad gamers are furious at this. Savvy said, I'm going to crash out. Yeah, there's no reason to change from male and female to body type 1 and 2. It is ridiculous. Body type A, body type B, mental illness diagnosis, Western fat, feminist developers. Not a tear will be shed when Western localizers lose their jobs to AI. And I think that this is the major example that I am okay with for people losing their jobs. I generally say AI is a fine tool. I don't think that it should replace human beings, but when it comes to localizers, I don't think anybody's really going to shed a tear. Now, the issue you face with localizers versus AI is that AI can, of course, follow a prompt that says, hey, take this general story or this general dialogue and add diversity to it, or how can I improve diversity, equity, and inclusion in this story and alter the dialogue that way, or whatever prompt you want to enter. And so it can be just as woke, if not more woke, than these people. What we're gonna see in the coming months, and I would put money on this, what we're gonna see is we're going to see one of these localizers or developers or feminists become a mega shitlord by not only their politics, but also them using AI to enhance their politics and then putting this absolute pile of slop into a game. We are going to see the wokest game possible, and it's going to be attributed to AI. I would bet on that. Now the question is, which localizer team did this? Did NetEase outsource it? And yes, it does seem that it was done by Rocket Sound. Again, there's no official confirmation of that, but there are ties to this person and Rocket Sound. Game is non-binary then. This is openly hated by people that buy video games. Why is this still going on? And maybe the developers are really just doing what a lot of Japanese devs do, and that is basically putting all of their trust and faith into these localizers to do a good job, and then they don't really double check. They don't hire somebody else to look over that work because it would cost more money. Who really knows? Either way, it's not a good look. And Where Winds Meet has such gorgeous characters, awesome costumes and outfits. It has a lot of good content, but man, is it hard to want to sit here and support a game that features something like this. Report the bug, make it too big to ignore. Yeah, I mean, there's always ways to voice online how you're feeling when they ask in questionnaires. If you have any follow-up comments to make, leave them there. There is luckily a lot of ways to fight back, but there are also a lot of other good games on the market. So if you don't want to download this, even if it's free, you definitely don't have to. Yes, I do. Yeah, this was extremely disappointing. I hope they fix it, and I do too. I hope that they listen to feedback. I hope that they fix it. I hope they alter it, but it's very hard to imagine developers doing that just because how many times has this really happened? I can only think of one, and that is with Lords of the Fallen. I'm so sick of this garbage. It's man or woman, not type A or B crap. Again, the very first character you're introduced to should tell you exactly what the game is about. Amazing how taking a principled stand against shit goes out the window when the goy slap is free. The body type thing is just pure dehumanization like front hole or pregnant person. I hate it with a passion. I just think putting body type A, B, C, D, whatever is idiotic. If you clearly give one option for male and the other for female, just call them male and female. It's also more practical. Yeah, I think 98% of people on this planet know male and female, care about male and female. They don't want to be dehumanized in a way that boils your existence down to a body type A or a body type B. But yes, Where Winds Meet does have some major localization issues. I'm curious to see if anybody on this project makes any statements. I highly doubt it, and I don't think that they're going to change it either. unfortunately, but it is still good to talk about it, to bring awareness to it, because a good game should not be ruined by a few Western idiots. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.